She said she was studying for midterms, and I tried to believe her. But the cloud-synced photos, the traces she thought were gone, and the hidden metadata whispered a different truth. I stayed silent and gathered every piece, letting the evidence speak louder than she ever could. She lost me that night. But in that silence, I finally found myself. My name is Daniel, and this is the story of how I learned that sometimes the people closest to you can look you in the eye, smile sweetly, and lie without even blinking. Before I begin, let me ask you something. Have you ever trusted someone so much that you ignored every red flag just because you loved them? Think about that while you listen. And if you enjoy real stories like this, don't forget to support the channel. Tell me which city you're listening to in the comments. I always love reading them. All right, let me take a deep breath. Here's how everything started. She looked me dead in the eye one afternoon, lifted her textbook a little, and said, "He's just helping me study." I believed her. Why wouldn't I? She was my girlfriend, my first real love, the girl I thought I'd build a future with. But life has a strange way of showing you the truth, sometimes softly, sometimes suddenly, and sometimes brutally. The night everything changed, I wasn't looking for anything. I wasn't spying or snooping. I was just sitting in my dorm room, finishing a small coding assignment, when I heard my phone buzz. It was a photo, but not sent to me. It was a photo from a shared iCloud album, one I didn't even know still synced to my device. A photo that should never have appeared on my phone at all. And in that moment, my heart dropped. I didn't even open the image fully. I just saw the preview. Two bodies, half naked, hands where they shouldn't be, a messy dorm room background, the faint outline of a laptop screen with a midterm exam page open, and Maya, my girlfriend, laughing into the camera. I stared at my phone like it was lying to me, like my eyes weren't working. My first thought wasn't anger. It wasn't betrayal. It was, no, this has to be old. This has to be someone else. So I opened it, and that was the night I realized love can humiliate you in ways you never expect. But before I jump ahead, let me go back a little. Let me explain how we got here. I met Maya during freshman orientation. She was the bright one, the confident one, the girl who somehow walked into every room like she already owned it. She loved poetry, iced lattes, and long late-night conversations about dreams and books and impossible futures. And me? I was the quiet one, tech-minded, logical, reserved. I always laughed, telling her that if you opened my head, you'd probably find spreadsheets instead of emotions. She said she liked that. She liked that I wasn't dramatic or chaotic like the guys she used to date. She said she felt safe. Safe. That word hurts now. For the first year, we were good. Really good. We studied together, ate together, stayed up late coding or reading or messing around on the campus lawn. People used to joke we were inseparable, and maybe that was the problem, because somewhere along the line, while I thought we were still writing the same story, she began writing a different one with someone else. It started small. A TA named Ryan. Tall guy, clean haircut, the knows everyone on campus kind of personality. He was a teaching assistant for her economics class, and apparently he really explained things well. "That's all, babe," she told me one night, patting my shoulder gently. "He's just helping me study." I swear, I didn't question it. Why would I? Trust is natural when someone hasn't broken it yet. But then little things began to feel off. Her phone started buzzing at weird hours. She laughed at messages she wouldn't show me. She stopped studying with me as much. And whenever I asked if she wanted help, she waved me off. "Daniel, no offense, but you're not good at econ. Ryan gets it. He's a TA. Don't take it personally." I told myself she was right. I didn't want to be the jealous boyfriend. I didn't want to be insecure. So I swallowed it. Every time. But insecurity isn't always irrational. Sometimes it's intuition whispering, "Wake up. Something's wrong." Still, I stayed calm. I trusted her, because that's who I was, someone who loved carefully and logically, even when his heart felt uneasy. Then the exam season began, and so did the real distance. She started studying late. She stopped picking up my calls. She came home smelling like a mix of cologne and cheap dorm microwave noodles. When I asked, she snapped at me. "Daniel, please, I'm stressed. Don't add to it." So he apologized. Me. I apologized for asking where she had been. I still remember that night clearly. She put her hand on my cheek and whispered, "You know I love you, right? You're overthinking everything." And just like that, I believed her again. Foolish. Naive. but honest in my love. The turning point came a week before her midterms. She told me she'd be doing a full-night study session with her group. Ryan will be there too, she added casually. But don't worry, it's just academics. I told her, okay, good luck. She hugged me, kissed me, smiled like nothing was wrong, but something inside me twisted. A small voice that kept whispering, "Something is not right, Daniel." Still, I let it go, until the night my phone buzzed and everything fell apart. It was 1:14 a.m. I wasn't even looking at the time. I was deep in a coding project, wearing old headphones, half-eating stale chips. Then the notification hit my laptop and phone at the same time. Shared album updated. Who? I hadn't used shared albums in ages. I clicked. The screen lit up, and there it was. The photo. Maya on Ryan's lap. His dorm room. Her half-naked. Her neck marked. His hand on her waist. And the midterm exam paper glowing on the laptop beside them. It wasn't a study session. It wasn't a group meeting. It wasn't stress. It was betrayal. Plain and brutal. I stared at the screen for a full minute. My breath felt thin. My hands felt cold. I whispered to myself, no, this can't be real. But it was. The metadata at the top said everything. Taken just 45 minutes ago. Synced automatically. Captured on her phone. Uploaded by mistake. She must have forgotten the shared album still existed. A digital accident. A truth she never meant for me to see. And in that moment, I felt something inside me shift. Not anger. Not heartbreak. Clarity. A calmness that comes when the truth stops hiding. I said nothing to Maya. I didn't message her. I didn't call. Instead, I quietly opened my laptop and texted the one person who never failed me. Khalid. My best friend. My tech genius. The guy who could pull metadata from a rock if you asked him nicely. And with a steady voice, I told him, I think Maya is cheating. I need your help. Khalid didn't even hesitate. Come to my room, now. I grabbed my hoodie, slipped on my shoes, and walked across the hall. The corridor was quiet, the kind of silence that makes your own heartbeat sound too loud. When I knocked, he opened the door instantly. He took one look at my face and said, sit, show me. I handed him my phone. He didn't react dramatically. He didn't gasp or swear. He just nodded slowly, like he'd already expected something like this. Khalid had never trusted Maya. He never said it out loud, but I'd seen it in the small things. How he stiffened around her. How he watched her lies with tired eyes. How he once told me gently, Daniel, just be careful with your heart. I didn't listen then, but I was listening now. He opened the shared album, zoomed into the photo, and whispered, she uploaded this by accident. I figured, I said quietly. Khalid sighed. Okay, let's get everything. Metadata, timestamps, hidden files. Everything she didn't mean for you to see. I didn't speak. I just nodded. It wasn't revenge. Not yet. It was clear. I needed to know the truth fully. Every detail she tried to bury, under study sessions and TA meetings. Khalid looked at me for a moment and asked, are you sure you want to see everything? This won't feel good, man. I'm sure. Because lies hurt. But not knowing the truth destroys you. He connected my phone to his laptop, typed faster than I could follow, and said, she has cloud sync turned on, but only partially. Some albums are hidden, but you have shared root access because of your old link. So we can see more? I asked. We can see everything Apple didn't hide properly, he replied. A minute later, dozens of thumbnails appeared on the screen, and my heart sank deeper. Hotel hallway photos. Mirror selfies, screenshots of flirty messages, study notes mixed with intimate pictures, photos taken outside Ryan's dorm, photos inside Ryan's dorm, photos of them laughing in bed, covering their faces with blankets, photos with timestamps matching every night. She told me she was exhausted from studying. I leaned back. My chest felt hollow. Khalid didn't say a word. He knew words wouldn't help. He opened the metadata panel. Everything is recent. Past 3 weeks. Mostly at night. I nodded, staring blankly. 3 weeks. She had been cheating for 3 weeks while telling me I was overthinking and making drama. 3 weeks of lying casually. 3 weeks of kissing me during the day and him at night. 3 weeks of pretending she was stressed about midterms while using the TA's room as her study space. I suddenly felt a strange, steady calm inside me. Maybe betrayal breaks some people. Maybe it focuses others. I wiped my face and said softly, okay. We document everything. Khalid looked at me again. You're not angry? I'm done being blind, I said. Anger can come later, He nodded. Then let's expose her the right way. For the next hour, we gathered it all. Photo metadata, hidden album backups, location stamps, deleted files still stored in cloud fragments, Ryan's dorm number visible in reflections, time logs matching her study excuses, screenshots of flirt chats recovered from notifications. It was overwhelming, but also strangely grounding. Every lie she told now had a timestamp. Every excuse had proof against it. Every study session had visual evidence. Finally, when Khalid exported everything into a neat folder, he said, "What do you want to do with this?" I took a long breath. I'm not going to scream. I'm not going to fight her. I'm not giving her the satisfaction of calling me insecure. So then, I swallowed, feeling something heavy turn into something firm. She's planning that group dinner on Saturday, the one to prove she isn't cheating. Yeah, I'll go. You're going to confront her there? Not confront, I said quietly. Reveal. Khalid's eyebrows rose. He understood instantly. You're going to let her lie in front of everyone, then drop the truth. I nodded. She wants to make me look paranoid. Fine, let her try. He leaned back, impressed. This is cold, Daniel. It's honest, I said. Something she stopped being weeks ago. The next day, Maya walked into the cafeteria with her usual smile, holding a smoothie, waving at me like nothing had happened. Hey babe, she said, sitting beside me as if she didn't spend the night with someone else. I looked at her calmly. You okay? She asked. I'm fine. Just tired. She put her hand on mine. Please don't be distant, Daniel. Not now. I need us to be solid during midterms. I almost laughed. Not loudly, just inside my head. You need my emotional support while cheating on me? Wow. But I didn't react. I didn't pull away. I just said softly, we're okay. Because soon, she wouldn't be able to pretend anymore. That evening, Maya acted almost overly sweet. Send me long messages, send me some memes, sent me pictures of her notes like she was proving she was actually studying. She even texted, I'm so happy we're strong together. I stared at the message for a long moment. Khalid, sitting on my bed, said, she's trying to cover her tracks now. She knows something feels off. I know, I replied. She always gets affectionate when she's hiding something. Are you sure you want to go through with the dinner plan? Yes. And after dinner? He asked gently. After the dinner, I whispered. I'm done with her. Completely. He nodded. That's the right choice. Saturday came fast. Too fast. The evening air felt cold on my skin as I walked to the dining hall. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't shaking. I wasn't angry. I was steady, like my heart had accepted the truth and finally stopped fighting it. When I stepped in, Maya waved excitedly from a table. A big smile. Bright eyes. Acting like the perfect girlfriend. Ryan was there too, sitting across the table. He looked up when I entered, and for a split second, I swear I saw panic in his eyes. He knew. He must have realized the shared album was still synced. He must have remembered the photo. He must have known the possibility that I saw it, but Maya didn't notice anything. Daniel, sit next to me, she said, patting the chair. Saturday. Ryan looked down at his plate. The others chatted casually. Maya leaned into me and whispered, see? Told you we're good. Told you nothing was wrong. I looked at her slowly, and for the first time in weeks, I didn't feel hurt, just detached. She smiled brightly, thinking she'd won, thinking she'd manipulated me one more time, but the truth was coming, and she didn't even know it. The next morning, I woke up before my alarm. My body was exhausted, but my mind was alert, sharp in a way it hadn't been for months. I didn't feel confused anymore. I didn't feel denial. I felt direction. I showered, shaved, put on a clean shirt, and made a quiet decision. Today would be the day things stopped happening to me. Today, I will take control. At 7:42 a.m., my wife came downstairs already dressed for work. She froze when she saw me sitting at the kitchen table, completely awake, calmly drinking coffee like I'd been waiting. Good morning, I said. She blinked, surprised. You're up early. Couldn't sleep, I answered. I wanted to think. She hesitated, reading my face like she was afraid of what she might find there. About us? Yes, I said simply. The air tightened between us. She shifted her purse to her other shoulder, clearly uncomfortable. Well, she said quietly, I hope you're okay. It was such a detached, robotic line that for a moment, I wondered if she even heard herself. But I didn't react. I didn't push. I didn't ask questions. I just sipped my coffee. She exhaled in relief, mistaking my calm for cluelessness. All right, I should go, she said, leaning in to kiss my cheek. And that's when I did something small, but enough to make her pause. I moved my face away gently, not dramatically, not with anger, just enough. She froze midair, her lips inches from my skin. "Everything all right?" "Yeah," I said calmly. "Everything's fine." I could practically hear her heartbeat from across the room. She forced a smile and left. The door clicked shut, and I finally exhaled. I didn't go to work that day. I took a personal day, and instead opened my laptop, creating a folder on my desktop for attorney. Inside it, I started dragging the screenshots I had taken, the text chains, the location pings, the call logs, the photos from the night before, the hotel confirmation from a number she thought I wouldn't recognize. Piece by piece, the puzzle formed itself. I didn't cry. I didn't shake. I just worked with the cold clarity of a man who finally accepted reality. At 11:13 a.m., something unexpected happened. Her coworker, someone I barely knew, texted me. Coworker, Lena. "Hey, I don't know how to say this, but I think something's going on with your wife. If you ever want to talk, I'm here." My hands hovered over the keyboard. Part of me wondered if she knew, if she suspected, or if maybe everyone had known but me. I didn't reply. I couldn't bring myself to have that conversation yet. Instead, I packed a small backpack and drove 40 minutes to a small town outside the city, one with a notary, a UPS store, and a cafe where no one would know my name. I needed distance. Not physical distance from her, but mental distance from the home I no longer felt safe in. I sat in that cafe for almost 2 hours, rewriting my notes, organizing my evidence, thinking through scenarios. I wasn't planning revenge. Not the dramatic movie kind. I wanted something simpler, a clean exit, a dignified exit, an exit that protected my future, even if my heart was a wreck. Around 2:30 p.m., she texted me herself. "Wife, hey love, how's your day?" I smiled bitterly, not because it was sweet, but because of how rehearsed it sounded. I waited 10 minutes before answering. "Me. Good. Busy." Her reply came instantly. "Wife, you seemed off this morning. Everything okay?" I typed something, then deleted it. Finally, I wrote, "Me. Yeah, just thinking." Again, instant reply. "Wife. About what?" I didn't answer quickly this time. I waited another 10 minutes. "Me. Us." That one single word was enough to shift the ground beneath her. She didn't reply for 15 minutes. Then, "Wife. We can talk tonight, okay? I love you." Those 3 words burned more than comforted. I didn't respond. I went home around 5 p.m. Her car wasn't there yet, and I was grateful I needed a few moments alone inside the house. But when I unlocked the door, something felt different, like the air had been rearranged. I checked the kitchen first, nothing. Then the living room, still normal. But then I walked into the bedroom and froze. Her perfume. It was faint but fresh, like someone had sprayed it within the last hour. There was also something else. A small, pale pink bracelet on her nightstand. One I had never seen her wear. I picked it up. It wasn't hers. It was delicate, clearly worn, and definitely not something my wife would buy. That meant one thing. She hadn't gone to work after all. She'd been here, maybe not alone. My pulse stayed calm, steady, almost unnaturally so. I set the bracelet back exactly where I found it. She would notice if it moved, and for the first time in weeks, I felt something shocking. Leverage. She came home at 6:12 p.m. "Hey babe," she called out, cheerful in a way that didn't match the tension in the air. I answered casually. "Hey." She walked into the bedroom, saw me sitting on the edge of the bed, and instantly became nervous. "You're home early," she said. "So are you," I replied. She blinked. "Oh yeah, I wasn't feeling great. Came back for a nap." Lie. Too quick. Too rehearsed. I nodded like I believed her. She studied me carefully, her eyes scanning my face for clues. "You're really quiet," she whispered. "Just tired," I said. "We can talk tomorrow." Her relief was so visible it was almost insulting. She thought she'd dodged a bullet. She thought I still trusted her. But she had no idea I'd already hired a lawyer. No idea I'd already copied all her files. No idea I already knew the name of the man she thought she was hiding so well. No idea her time to think was the beginning of her own ending. She showered. She changed. She made dinner. She talked about her day as if nothing was unraveling. And the entire time, I watched her through a new lens, not as my wife, not as my partner, but as a stranger living beside me wearing a mask that was slipping. She went to bed early, exhausted from whatever lies she'd juggled that day. I stayed awake in the living room, staring at the ceiling, listening to the soft hum of the refrigerator. And there, in the quiet, a strange calm settled over me. Tomorrow, everything begins. Tomorrow, she meets the man I've become. Tomorrow, I stop surviving and start choosing. I leaned back, closed my eyes, and breathed out. This ends soon. When I walked out of that study group dinner, I didn't look back. Not once. The hallway outside the restaurant felt colder than I expected. Maybe because Maya wasn't beside me. Maybe because the lies had finally fallen away, and all that was left was the truth, raw, ugly, and strangely freeing. I didn't feel triumphant. I didn't feel victorious. I felt tired. Sometimes the deepest wounds don't bleed. They just grow quiet. I stepped outside into the night. Cars passed. People laughed across the street. The world moved on, as if my whole life wasn't falling apart. And for the first time in weeks, I let myself breathe. Slowly. Fully. I wasn't angry anymore. Just done. I woke up in my dorm to a long series of messages from Maya. Some are furious. Some apologies. Most confused. Daniel, please. It wasn't what it looked like. We were just hanging out before the exam. Why would you embarrass me like that? Call me. Please. I miss you. Her voice messages were the hardest to hear. A soft sniffle. A shaky breath. A desperate whisper asking me to forgive her. I didn't reply. Not out of cruelty, but because there was nothing left to say. Sometimes, silence is the final chapter. Campus felt different after that. Quieter. Wider. Like someone had removed a constant pressure from my chest. Khalid stuck by me the whole time. He didn't ask questions or drag out the drama. He just showed up one evening with takeout and said, "We're watching dumb movies tonight. No thinking aloud." That was his version of care. I needed it more than he knew. Professor Lee sent me a discreet email thanking me for the anonymous evidence. Professional tone. Formal wording, but I could read between the lines. Ryan was being handled. What happened to him wasn't my victory. I didn't feel joy or satisfaction. Just closure. People talk. Campus gossip spreads faster than Wi-Fi. I heard bits and pieces. She and Ryan got distant. She started skipping study groups. Her grades slipped. She cried in the hallway once after someone mentioned my name. I didn't chase any details. Didn't stalk her pages. Didn't laugh at her downfall. Because healing begins where obsession ends. And I was done being tied to her shadows. I was leaving the library when Maya stepped in front of me. Eyes red. Hair messy. Voice small. "Daniel, can we talk?" I said nothing. Not out of cruelty, but because I was afraid my voice would shake. She tried again. "I messed up. I know I did. But you were the best thing in my life. I didn't realize it until..." Her voice broke. I just listened, politely, calmly, quietly, not cold, not warm, just steady. "Please," she whispered. "Just tell me what I can do." And for the first time, I really looked at her, not the girl I trusted, not the girl I loved, but the girl who taught me one of the hardest lessons someone can learn. "You move on," I said softly. "Just like I am." She closed her eyes. I walked around her and didn't look back. Sometimes closure isn't an apology. Sometimes it's a door closing gently behind you. Weeks turned into months. My nights got lighter. My mind is clearer. I threw myself into my work. Went running every morning. Picked up photography again. Laughed more. Slept better. The world didn't change. I did. One quiet Sunday, I realized something. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't hurting. I wasn't replaying the betrayal. I was free. Maya had been a chapter, an important one, a painful one, but a finished one, and I finally closed the book. It was accidental. She was sitting alone on a bench near the campus fountainhead down, notebook in her lap. She looked thinner, maybe sadder, but she didn't see me, and I didn't walk over. Not because I hated her, not because I wanted revenge, but because sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone who hurt you is leave their life gently. I walked away with a soft heart, not a vengeful one. That was my victory. Looking back now, I don't regret trusting her. I don't regret loving her. And I don't regret letting her go. Because every broken piece taught me how to hold myself together. Every silent night taught me how to hear my own voice. And every tear taught me how to value my peace. I didn't lose her. I found myself. Sometimes the biggest revenge isn't exposing someone's lies. It's rebuilding your life quietly. With dignity, with clarity, with strength. Healing is louder than revenge. Peace is louder than betrayal. And distance. Distance says what words never can. My dear listeners, have you ever walked away from someone you loved, not because you wanted to, but because you finally learned how much you deserved? Tell me in the comments. I read every story you share. And if this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe, support the channel, and tell me which city you're listening from. There are so many stories left to tell, and I hope you'll stay with me for the next one. Thank you for being here. Daniel, a quiet and logical college student, begins to sense something wrong when his girlfriend Maya suddenly becomes distant. She claims she is only studying with Ryan, a teaching assistant, but her late nights, strange excuses, and secretive behavior make Daniel suspicious. Instead of confronting her, Daniel stays calm and starts collecting digital clues. With help from his tech-savvy friend Qley, he recovers deleted photos, cloud backups, hidden metadata, and even campus CCTV clips. The truth hits him hard when he discovers private midterm night photos of Maya and Ryan together. In Ryan's dorm room photos she didn't know were synced to her cloud. Maya organizes a study group dinner to prove she isn't cheating, but Daniel quietly exposes everything with undeniable evidence. The room goes silent. Her lie collapses in minutes. Daniel leaves calmly. Afterward, Maya sends endless messages, begging, crying, and apologizing, but Daniel stays silent. He chooses peace over revenge. Her life slowly unravels distance from Ryan, falling grades, emotional breakdowns, while Daniel focuses on healing. When she confronts him in person, he simply says it's time to move on. In the end, Daniel realizes he didn't lose her. He found himself.